Hello everyone, this is Professor Z coming out of the lab today to bring you something a little different. Today, I'll be reviewing chapter 39 of the Made in Abyss manga. This will be part 1 of this series as I cover all of the chapters of the manga preceding the events of the Made in Abyss film, Dawn of the Deep Soul. I'll of course still be doing anime film content, and many other videos going forward, so make sure you subscribe and stay tuned for those. But, without further ado, let's get into the video. So, Chapter 39, titled The Capital of the Unreturned. We start off where Dawn of the Deep Soul left off, with Rico's group standing before the altar of absolute boundary. Upon entering it, the group finds themselves in a translucent sphere. An incense is burning, which Rico identifies as the Eternal Fortune's incense, most likely set there by Bone Druid beforehand. Nanache dismisses it as another one of Bone Druid's habits, when Reg brings a question to mind. What was Bone Druid's aim in doing everything he had done? It's clear that prior events still eat at him as he holds his now decapitated hand. Nanache doesn't know how to respond. Unsure herself, she does recall though Bone Druid's statement about being prepared for the next 2,000 years. Once again though, Nanache brushes it off as more of Bone Druid's insane babbling, stating that thinking of it any further would just be poisonous. As Ray gives Nanache a completely harmless hug, the altar begins to move. We find that by interacting with Prushka, Rico somehow started the altar's movement into the sea of corpses. We quickly learn the meaning behind that name, as the altar passes through a thick layer of frozen corpses, all of which must have fallen from higher up in the abyss. Team Rico deems this their last dive, a trip into the 6th layer of the abyss in which there is no chance of return. After a long wait, the altar finally stops, and the group exits the altar as they arrive in the 6th layer, the capital of the Unreturned, a golden city in which it is covered in a thick layer of crystal. I'm going to interrupt here for a moment and say that this panel of the capital is absolutely gorgeous. Although I do believe that all of the art in this manga is beautiful, the way it's depicted here really does a fantastic job at giving the reader an image of this once great city that has now fallen into ruin. But back to the review. Due to their uncertain situation, Rico's group move on to look for a safer location to make camp. On the way, the group discusses the possibilities of running into other White Whistles and their groups. Nanache says the possibility of running into these groups is low, due to the White Whistles' tendency to make their own rules and thus travel by themselves. As they go, we encounter several creatures. They use Rico's mother's notes to see what is and isn't safe to eat. There's the Ryu Sazai, a large creature that can power through the curse and is extremely dangerous. There is also small creatures known as the Mizu Jacks, a more docile species which the group decides to feed upon. After following the notes, the group decides to gather Mizu Jack eggs to eat, but are interrupted by a geothermal explosion. After escaping the explosions, the group stops to eat the eggs they had gathered. After some complications, Rico finishes cooking the eggs and the group digs in. While eating, Rico reminisces about her time on the surface, specifically about her friends and family. It is here where Rico decides to send a letter balloon to those on the surface. With the help of Reagan and Nache, creating the balloon letter doesn't take long, and soon they are releasing it into the air. This doesn't last long though, because the balloon is quickly snatched out of the air by a flying creature. Though Rico is disappointed by this, the group decides to move on and find a place to rest for the night. After resting for a while, Nanache wakes up and finds the picture that they had placed in the balloon lying on the ground with a strange symbol drawn over top of it. Rico and Reg wake up shortly after, and while Nanache is trying to figure out what the symbol means, Rico realizes that Prushka had gone missing. Seeing that the material to draw the symbol was still fresh, the group heads out in pursuit. In their search, the group finds the corpses of 2 small animals, and upon further inspection find them filled with both Rico's and Nanache's hair. Disturbed at first, the group carries on in their pursuit. After a short while, they find footprints that lead them to a large, bizarrely shaped structure. And that's where chapter 39 comes to a close. This was a very interesting chapter. You can clearly see the ending of their journey with Bone Druid and the new adventure in the 6th floor beginning. The only nitpick I have is that I was hoping there would be more time to see more of the 6th floor and its wildlife. But that's a small complaint. Overall, Chapter 39 seems to be merely the start of another adventure for Rico, Reg, and Nanache. So, what did you all think of this chapter? Please leave a comment down below letting me know what you think. If you liked the video, consider leaving a like and subscribe for more content in the future. Nevertheless, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.